I was very excited to be joined today by singer-songwriter Jordin Sparks. Thank you for being here. Great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Last time you were here, I wasn't here, so I'm so happy to finally meet
We're
you.
here now together.
Yeah,
It's happening.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for your strength and taking time. You've been through a lot, the passing of your stepfather.
Yeah.
Thank you for making time for us in the midst of that. How's everyone doing?
Everyone, I mean, I think everybody's doing the best that they can. I mean, everybody has their different level of grief and how they grieve. But everybody is okay. You know, the sun still rises the next day, and it's strange to have the feeling of like I was just weeping a week ago, but now it feels strange to laugh because of where I just was. But you know, he was an amazing, amazing man, and if anything, he was such a giver and such for people that even in his passing, he was like that. He donated his organs, and for people are going to receive something, so they'll get life. Even in that, he's still giving,
Making an impact.
Yeah.
Well, our condolences to you and your whole
Thank you.
family.
I appreciate that.
And I really admire you for being able to talk about things, being so open. Last time when you were here at People Now, it was right after your stepsister passed away from sickle cell anemia. So now you've joined hands with Generation S to release a PSA about the disease. So let's take a look at this.
In September 2018, we invited people touched by sickle cell disease to share their stories through the Generation S Storytelling Project to help raise awareness, help educate, and ultimately rewrite the story about sickle cell disease.
So yeah, take us back. How did you become a part of this movement to begin with?
Well, with my sister, my stepsister, she passed from sickle cell, and I remember as she was going through that and me having a sister that had sickle cell, I had never been close to somebody who had that disease and could count on one hand the number of times I'd ever had a conversation about it or even heard it. So when I watched her and what she dealt with and the pain crises and how she sometimes would be in the hospital for 3 weeks out of a month, you know, and you know, watching her and how strong she was, I knew that after she passed that it was something that I really wanted to be a part of. And also knowing that people don't really have the conversations, it's time. It's time to have these conversations. It's time to talk about it. It affects, I think, 100,000 Americans, and we're not talking about this.
It's like, a lot of people.
It just seems, And
then through the process, you got to interact with people and to meet some people affected by sickle cell. What was the most touching story that you encountered?
Well, okay, so the crazy thing is, I think it's showing it right here. We got to Skype with them, but I get to meet them today, actually.
Oh, today?
Yes.
For the first time in person?
Today. I'm beyond myself. I'm so excited to meet them.
What do you anticipate for those meetings?
Big hugs.
Okay, right.
Because we've spoken before, but I don't, you know, I was so inspired by them all via Skype. Like, to be able to feel that energy through the computer screen is really amazing. So I know that it's just going to be the biggest burst of energy when we all get together, because I think they're all meeting for the first time too. So I think there's 5 of them, and it's just amazing because it takes a lot of courage to share your pain or to share your vulnerability or things that you've been through, just kind of like what you just mentioned. And what we do, or what we're doing with Join Gen S and Generation S, is to encourage people to change the narrative of what sickle cell looks like. You can't tell that somebody has it just by looking at them, but also to encourage them to share their stories so that they don't feel alone, so that they know there are other people out there that, 1, care, 2, you know, can talk about it with you, and 3, understand. I can't imagine having sickle cell when you can't give an actual, like, look, I'm hurting. If you have a bruise, you're like, look, I have a bruise, but it's a blood disease, so it affects all the organs in your body, and all of a sudden, one of the women that I spoke to said it was like having shattered glass in her veins.
Man.
Like, can you even imagine?
No, it's hard. It's impossible to imagine.
Especially when nobody else seems to understand unless you have it. So I think it's so beautiful that now there's this community and people can be there to support each other. So I love that you're doing that.
Yeah,
I'm happy to be a part of it.
And using your platform even at this moment to shed light on that.
Let's JoinGenS.com.
JoinGenS.com. Let's switch gears to this. Made a long-awaited return to music earlier this year, collaborating with Elijah Blake.
Yes.
Talk to us about how that all came about and how excited you seem to be. And we were talking even right before. You're excited for this new stuff.
Honestly, it happened because Elijah called me and asked me if I wanted to do a joint project in January, and I looked at DJ and I said, okay. I was like, as long as you know that he's gonna be at the studio with us.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a family affair going into the studio. It was Dana and DJ and myself and Elijah, and it was great. We finished it in, I think, a week and a half, and and then put it out. And I'm really excited about it because not only did I get to release new music for my fans, but it also showed me with all the access and technology we have, how quickly you can really put stuff together. I'm of an old school mindset. I'm like, I take a couple of years and then I whatever life I've lived, I put that in my next project.
Really cultivated over
time. I like to take my time, but it's incredible. It's amazing to see how everybody can just put out song after song after song all the time. I don't work like that. No, there's nothing wrong with it, but I just am like, it's incredible to see. But I did get to do it once with this project. So.
Yeah, well, I really wondered how life in the studio is with the whole family there, right?
Yeah.
Like the kid and everything.
It was fun, actually. Elijah had a little booth in his up in his loft, and we would just go over to his house, we'd order lunch, and then DJ would just crawl around on the carpet. And then I would go in the studio. There was a door on the studio, or a window on the studio door. And so I'd just look, and he could check to see that I was still in the room, and then Dana would be sitting there, and him and Elijah would talk.
Adorable.
And, it was great. And the amazing thing is, too, now, months after the fact of recording it, now when the song comes on, DJ recognizes it instantly. And
really?
He asks for it, like, to be played. He goes like this. And that's when I know that he wants to hear, like, 90s R&B or something.
Yeah, it's a little dance move.
Yes, it's so cute.
Like a little fist bump.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have all these powerhouse hits that people know you for, Tattoo, Battlefield. This is a different sound, though, right? More vintage R&B. So tell me about taking that route.
So for me, I've always been inspired by the 90s artists that I grew up with. Mariah Carey and I mean 90s to me because that's when I grew up, because I know some of them are a little bit earlier, but Whitney and Brandy and Boyz II Men and all of these amazing singers and vocalists and groups, and Elijah as well, Toni Braxton, oh my gosh. So for us, we kind of got together and we're like, okay, so what are we going to make this about? And so we talked about it and realized that we had a love of the 90s. Even though we were pretty young, there's a lot of memories that we have, and the music was so great. You hear those throwback songs, and you're like, take me back, you know? So we wanted to do something that, I guess millennials, I don't want to say millennials, but
appealing to the millennials, right?
Yeah, the one that grew up like us and that loved the 90s, a little throwback just to pay homage to them and the people that came before us.
You know what makes me do this?
What?
Just make me feel it. No air.
Yeah. You know what's crazy?
I didn't know what a so deep.
Yes. The crazy thing is now is I listen to that song and I'm like, okay, Idol was 12 years ago. Like this is like a throwback song for sure.
I listened to it earlier and I was just like,
it's a
took me
throwback
away.
now.
So good. Also working on a solo album these days. How's that going to be different from previous work? I mean, you just mentioned a lot of how you're changing stuff up. Will it be reflected there too?
With this album, speaking of Idol and music and everything kind of coming together, I loved American Idol because I loved seeing everybody do different genres every week. Some people it was harder for me, I was like, this is my type of game. I love everything. I grew up listening to country music, R&B, rap, 80s hair bands, Ella Fitzgerald, Nat King Cole, like you name it, bubblegum pop.
Full spectrum.
Everything. And so for me, they'd be like, okay, we're doing this week. And I'd be like, I can do that. I love Bon Jovi. Let me sing Living on a Prayer, please, So for me, I've always been that way. I'm a melting pot of different genres of music. And so this new album is kind of like that. It's got a little bit of everything. Whereas my previous albums, I kind of said that. I said that as well, but this you'll really actually hear it. There's going to be the power ballads. There's going to be the sad breakup songs. There's the sassy, more attitude songs. There's happy songs, kind of reminiscent of how One Step at a Time, just you hear it and you're just happier. So it's got a little bit of everything that I'm really excited. I'm still working on it. I've got a couple more that I want to go in and some songs that I want to write.
I imagine it's different too, like now you're a mother, so life's different. Yeah, tell us a little bit about raising your son. He's a little over a year old. He's here today. Ooh, yes, traveling with him.
Screaming in the green room.
Yeah. Right.
No, he's amazing.
So adorable. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I can't deal. This is how I am with him all the time. Like, you're so cute. But he's incredible, and it's been really amazing to see him emerge now, because it was almost like he turned one and then boom, he was like his own person. Like I saw little pieces of it, but now he knows exactly what he wants, what he's looking at, what he wants to do, where he wants to go. If he wants to eat, like he goes into the cooler himself and grabs his food. I'm just like, okay,
What's been the most surprising thing that you did not anticipate with motherhood?
Well, to be honest, I didn't anticipate how much. I knew I would love it, but I did not anticipate like the depth of how much I really love being his mom, and like knowing that he chose us, you know? It kind of makes me weepy. It's just like, it's the most amazing thing. And when I see other women say like, it's the greatest role in my life, like I get it now. Like I understood it logically, seeing somebody say that, but I understand it on a deeper level now to just, it really is the greatest thing. Everything else is secondary.
Yeah, wow, now I have baby fever.
Snaps
you know, it's crazy. Everything changed. Everything shifted, but for the better. It's been great. Dana and I are stronger than ever. DJ is just amazing, and he shows us. It's almost like, just like how your relationship can be a mirror to who you are, it's also another mirror. Smaller mirror, but it's another mirror. Like, oh, my patience isn't where I thought it was. Ooh, let me work on that.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if there's an argument or something, instead of just going into it or going into a disagreement, you have to think like, wait, okay, he knows, he'll be able to feel the tension. We gotta wait, we'll talk about it later.
One of the most interesting things for my wife and I was to figure out how to seclude our arguments and things to some degree. Like, I kind of want the girls to know, like, hey, we can have disagreements and that's fine. But for your relationship with Dana, how has it changed the most as parents?
Well, I mean, obviously we don't get to go out all the time
Do you try to do that? Is that something you have to carve out?
Yeah, we try and do date nights. It's been difficult because I'm still breastfeeding, so we're still kind of tethered in that way. We can't go too far, but at the same time, Dana's been I'm such a homebody. I literally could stay home for 2 weeks and not have any issues. I'd be like, I'm good. Like,
doing your thing.
I'm great. Yeah. But he's really been encouraging me, like, hey, we got to be more social. And I'm like, okay, you're right. You're right. You're right, babe. But we do try and have our date nights here and there. It's been hard to find somebody that we trust to watch him, and also all of our family lives out of town. So
it's a big decision.
Yeah, so it's difficult to like go, okay, yeah, we want to go and do all these things, and yes, it would be so perfect if we just had somebody we could either take with us, or it's just that's been the hardest thing, I think, is finding somebody like that.
All right.
All right, well, time for a little game.
Okay,
ready? It's called When Do Sparks Fly? I came up with this. Do you like it?
I can't believe nobody has thought about this. It's been 12 years and this has never been a thing.
Well, here it is.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I feel really good because this is my idea.
Well, I mean, it was a group effort. You did come up with a title.
Yes. I mean, that I can
we may have all contributed.
I came up with the title.
People have done the Sparks Fly thing, but not like in
so you get two situations.
Okay.
You have to tell us which of those are more likely to have sparks flying. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
So first one, Dana shows up with flowers or he shows up with chocolates. When do sparks fly?
I would have to choose A, when he shows up with flowers, because he does that and it's so sweet.
Does he?
It'll be the most random day, random morning. I don't even know. I'll wake up sometimes and my favorite flowers are lilies, and he'll be home with lilies and just a card telling me he loves me. It's the sweetest thing.
Dana killing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He really is.
All right, here we go.
He's so thoughtful.
Next one, a date night with Dana at a fancy restaurant, or movie night at Dana with Dana at home.
Oh no. See, we do movie night with each other at home like almost
all the time.
Every single night. Once DJ goes to sleep, we have our dinner, we watch our show, and like we have our thing that we do. So it's both, actually.
And at least that one is happening all the time. So
yeah. All right, when do sparks fly? Dana buys you jewelry or Dana buys you a sexy dress?
Ooh. You know what's funny? It's not when he doesn't have to buy it for me, but when I put on a sexy dress and he looks at me, that's the difference.
We should bring him in here for some of these, I think.
Is he good at telling you when you look good?
Yeah.
That's so important.
Yes, I mean, it's not like, wow, you look like the sexiest thing on the planet. He has his own way of saying it, but I know when he's saying it, so when he does, I'm like,
yeah, I think you know.
Yep.
Yep. Here we go. Having a few cans of beer or having a few glasses of wine?
Oh, a few glasses of wine.
Your wine, okay.
Yeah.
Is he the same way?
I'm not a wino, he is.
Oh, he's a wino.
He likes it, but we have discovered there's this like sparkling red wine called Roscato.
Ooh.
Amazing. It's amazing. It's pretty sweet though, so if you like more of the dry stuff.
We'll put it on the list. Roscato.
All right, last one. When do sparks fly? When he does the dishes or when he does the laundry?
He hates doing the dishes. He hates it so much, and he did them the other day.
Oh, so that's really sparkly.
It was really sweet. He hates doing it, but he did it, and it was really sweet.
All right.
Good job, Dana.
Yeah, I love you.
Jordin, thank you so much for stopping by.
Well, of course, thank you for having me.
Remember, you can go to joingens.com to learn more about sickle cell disease and join the movement.
Please.
Obviously, check out our music as well.
Yeah. Am I gonna breathe with no air? Can't help it.